All right, we are recording. You guys, thank you so much for joining Team Fit Dynasty's call on a Wednesday night at 8:30. I appreciate you guys. It is January 31st, last day of the first month of 2018. I cannot believe that January really flew by. And I just want to start by thanking everybody for an incredible job in the month of January. It was an all-time high for Team Fit Dynasty. We had a record month, and I just want to thank you so much for your hard work. I'm so proud of each of you, and I just cannot wait to see where the rest of the year brings us. As all of you know, I put it out there that is a huge goal of mine, and my number one goal for 2018 for Team Fit Dynasty to be an elite team. So we have started the year off in an amazing way, and I'm just so excited for all of us as a team and for your individual businesses. One quick reminder, today is the very last day to sign up for Team Cup. Number one, so if you still want to get on a team, you have a couple of more hours to get registered, we can try to find you a team. So make sure, I've gone through it a million times, but Team Cup is so important for your business. It's a game changer, and it really can help you take off, especially if you're a new coach. So let's get you signed up. Also, if you're not registered for Summit yet, today is the last day for the discounted ticket at $145. It will not be lower than that. So if you want to go, I highly suggest that you taking advantage of that price because it's super low that they dropped in January. So tonight, I am so excited. I'm just going to jump right in. I have Michelle Myers on the call, who I am lucky enough to call my upline coach, which is funny for those of you that don't know and are new coaches. I was lucky enough to inherit Michelle as my upline sponsor. I did not sign up with her, but like by the grace of God, she was brought into my life and has been such a huge inspiration to me business-wise and also on a personal level and as a friend. So I'm just so lucky to have her in my life and so grateful to have her tonight on the call. So Michelle, thank you so much. Also, I just want to do a short introduction. Michelle is coming to us all the way from Asheville, North Carolina, where she lives with her husband, James. Her 3 children, she has Noah, who is he 7? Am I right? 7?
Almost, in March.
Okay, Noah's 7. We have Cole, who's 4. And we have Shay, who is 1. And I had the pleasure of spending time with Michelle and her awesome family last year. And you guys, they are, and she is the real deal. We had such a great time. It was so great to get to know them. So I'm excited to introduce you guys to her so you can get to know her a little better and to really hear her story and then go into our topic tonight. But really quick, on a business side, Michelle is a lifetime 13-star diamond in Beachbody. She's been a coach for 9 years, which if you just heard is like unheard of in any kind of network marketing organization. It's very rare. But she's been here since the beginning. Hallie has seen it all. So she is such a valuable resource to have. So grateful for that. Also, she is an entrepreneur and has Cross Training Couture. If you're not familiar with it, go check it out. It's a clothing line. It's awesome. And she also has She Works His Way, which is a business consulting company for women. But they also have an amazing app that I start my day out with each day. It's a devotional app. So go check that out as well. So Michelle, thank you so much. I'm going to hand it over to you if you want to start with your story, and then we'll get into our questions. That would be awesome.
Absolutely. So thank you guys so much for having me. Shout out quickly. Like, you guys are growing and exploding, and it's so much fun to watch what you guys are doing. And so like, I'm looking around here and like, scrolling over so I can see your names, and these are the same names that I recognize a lot of you all the time. And so kudos, hats off, fantastic work. You guys are making a big difference. And so I'm excited to just be able to be here with you. So as she already alluded, I signed up for Beachbody when I was 13. Just not. That joke doesn't get fun. It's not funny anymore. It was funny, once upon a time. Now people are like, okay. So sorry, I still say it. But yeah, so I've been here for a long time. She's exactly right. I have been through it all, seen it all. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs. But I'll be completely honest with you. I had no idea what I was doing when I signed up. My husband was dead set against it. So I got certified to teach Turbo, completely fell in love with the format. I had been working in the fitness industry since I was 16. And I was like, this is my jam. Like, I want to teach this workout all the time. Loved it. Found out about the Beachbody side of things at my certification. It was on October the 9th. Why do I remember random things like this? But came home and like was like, James, I got my whole life planned, you know, and he was like, awesome. Because, you know, you already have 2 jobs. We were in seminary. We're working on our master's degrees. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. Another job makes total sense. And not to mention, you have a great track record in direct sales. Because mind you, I had tried Avon twice, Arbonne once, Mary Kay. So I was like a 4-time direct sales failure. Like bad failure, bad. And so he's like, you're just a bit of a flight risk. Like you get real excited and then you trail off. And I was like, no. This is different. Because see, here's the thing. I tried to sell Avon and Arbonne and Mary Kay while I was like wearing other makeup. And so I was trying to sell something I wasn't using myself. And I don't care. And as you guys can tell, don't exactly look like an expert in that area. So it's not like that was like naturally coming up in conversation where people are like, Michelle, tell me how to do your eyeshadow. I'm like, I wear eyeshadow. Okay, the good plan. So it was not a good fit, but I was like, this is who I am. This is what I do. People talk to me about fitness all the time. I talk about fitness all the time. This gets me excited. This gets me fired up. You don't understand. And he was like, no, you need to settle down. No. And so I did what every good and submissive wife would start to do. Started thinking, how can I manipulate this situation? How can I turn this to my advantage? And so I said nothing until my sweet, sweet, precious husband asked me what I wanted for Christmas. Oh, yes, I did. And I said, I want to be a Beachbody coach. And he was like, you did that on purpose. I was like, yes, I did. You're not going to deny me my Christmas present, are you? And he was like, okay, here's the deal. I want you to write down everything that it costs for a year. Like, assuming that you're going to buy programs, assuming you're going to buy vitamins, whatever. I want to know business expenses, sign-up costs. I want to know everything it's going to cost you for a year. So I told him, I was like, all right. So I wrote it down because at that point, it's $14.95 for our business service fee. We didn't have Shakeology. That's how long I've been a coach. We didn't have Shakeology. That's how long. And so we had the tri-pack of multivitamins called the Core Nutrition Pack, which was how everybody used to stay active because that was 50 PV. And so I added up that, my business service fee, and I factored in 2 or 3 fitness programs for the year. And so I come in and I hand it to him. I don't remember what the number was, but he looked at that and he was like, you spend that in Target in an hour. And I was like, yes, I do. You are correct. And he was like, so basically what I'm telling you is we can afford to lose that. But here's the deal. If you haven't at least broken even in a year, we're done. Like walking away, we're done. And so I was like, that's fair. And then besides, I was like, if I get bored, I'll probably want to quit in a year anyway. So that's fine. So I still, though, didn't know what I had in me. And so I was reactively working my business because, like I said, I was, working at a gym. I was a personal trainer. I was a group fitness instructor. And so fitness did naturally come up in conversation. People did ask me about it quite frequently. And so I did get people started on the Core Nutrition Pack. I did help a couple of people get started on our workout programs, but I was still teaching and training at the gym a whole lot. In fact, I was teaching so much that I was teaching between 19 and 24 classes a week. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but that is hard on a body. That is not good on a body at all. And so when we went home for Christmas, I had my first time of having 3 full days, off from teaching. And I woke up and I started crying. And I don't cry. I don't know if y'all know. I know a lot of people are emotional. I'm not. I cry 4 times a year. And most of those have to do with my children, they're usually happy tears. So James is he doesn't know what to do when I cry. It's weird. To where he's like, should I leave you alone? And I'm not a pretty crier. You know those people that are real pretty at it and it's sweet and you want to comfort them? I feel like I don't know the ratio of noise and wetness, and it's really strange. So he kind of wanted to back away a little bit, but was like, what is going on? And I was just like, this is the first time that my body just hasn't hurt and I don't even know how long. Like, I don't remember when my body didn't hurt. And James was like, you've got to figure something out. Like, you can't teach this much. And I was like, okay. So, and I'm a fixer. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to rewrite my whole life plan. And James was like, are you aware that you have a business that actually does work and convert, like when you do something? And I was like, this husband, that head, not just a hat rack. So I decided, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to go home from Christmas, January. I'm going to work my business. This is a perfect time. New Year's resolutions. I'm all in. And I don't think even when I made that commitment that I realized what was actually possible, because I went from a floundering emerald to a solid diamond in 9 days. By January the 9th, I was a diamond coach. And I was like, hey, do you know that I have like a whole office full of training? They do like these weekly things called the Coach Wake Up Call. Like, this is fantastic. No idea. 13 months in the business. And I did it all by myself for forever. And so then I just started getting plugged into the tools that were available to me. I started showing up at local events. I started being the proactive one, not just waiting on people to come to me, but actually going to people and helping them. And once I started doing that, I've never looked back. Now, my seasons of no matter what's have changed because my family has changed. I have now, as Jess told you in the beginning, 3 children. And so when I first started my business, no children. So my work hours are a little different. My priorities are a little bit different. But I have picked what I knew that I needed to do based on my goals for the business and the amount of people that I wanted to help. And I can honestly tell you that since January of 2010, I've had my no matter what's, and I've never dropped my no matter what's. Now, does that mean I've hit every single goal that I've ever set? No. I have definitely missed some goals. But because I've always been doing the right things have actually happened. The goal was just like this end thing. It was a result. And if you guys know this, just like you can't control when the scale moves and how the scale moves, you can't do the same. Your business is the same way. You can't control when somebody's going to rank advance. You can't control when somebody's going to purchase something. But you can control how many people you're talking to, how you follow up, and not just that, but how good of a job you do once somebody says yes. Because the name of the game in this business is not just recruit, get them in, recruit, get them in. It is get them in, love them hard, make them stay. Get them in, love them hard, make them stay. Because if you do that and they don't leave, it is 90% harder. It takes 90% more energy and more expenses to recruit a new customer than it does to retain an existing one. If you will just give 10% effort and keep those customers, because you guys, that is what makes your business because you have that retainer to where you're not just working this month to replace last month, but you are building on what you did last month, keeping that and adding to it. And so that is how you build a business for depth. And so there is no secret sauce. I just always tell people, I want to start a hashtag. Maybe we can do it tonight. I'm so in if you guys are ready. It's weird. So if you're not weird, then you're not going to like it. But it's hashtag be a bug. Be a bug. Everybody knows that bug that you can't squish. Okay? They're usually stink bugs in my house. Do y'all have those anywhere outside of North Carolina? Y'all know what I'm talking about? These things are so irritating. And I promise you, I can get my husband's big, massive boot. I still cannot kill those things. But if you be the bug they can't squish, I still now, 9 years into this, have people message me on Facebook and say, hey, are you still drinking that Shakeology stuff? And I'm like, yep. Sure am. And they're like, how long have you been drinking that now? I'm like, since August of 2010. And they're like, that's a long time. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, maybe I should try it. No lie. People I've known my whole life. have known me my whole business and are still coming to me. And now they're just like, okay, something you've been drinking every day for 8 years. I'm curious enough to give that a go. I'd like to try it. And so if you will stay consistent, it will take some people a long time, but that is the secret to long-term success in this business, is not floundering from your position. Because, by the way, I have a couple of discount coaches that are the people that at the beginning of my business made fun of me, like relentlessly. Like, oh, I'm a Shakeology. Who am I? Who am I? Like, made fun of me. Bad. Now discount coaches, because they're like, so I turned 30 and then everything went south. I'm like, it did. So that there's no secret sauce to my business. Literally, the things that I did in the beginning are still the things that I do today. That's it.
That's awesome. I thank you so much for sharing that. I have a couple of questions that I want to go over. We have a lot of new coaches on our team, and I remember back to when I started coaching 3.5 years ago, and I knew I wanted to grow my business, and I knew recruiting was a big part of that, but I was scared and I did not know what I was doing. So I wanted to kind of touch upon that and kind of go through what you did as a new coach or continue to do. So my first question is, going back 9 years ago, or when you decided to, be proactive in your business 13 months in, how did you get over the fear of recruiting coaches?
Okay, so a couple of things. Let me acknowledge a couple of things for the newer coaches so that you can just feel better. A, it's scary. And B, you're right. You don't know how to do it because you've never done it before. Like, you can't learn how to do some things by just studying mechanics. Like, if I just sent my son to read a book about how to ride a bike without training wheels and then put him on his bike and expected him not to fall, that would be really foolish parenting. Like, you just have to do it. You have to learn. And so the first thing that I tell you to do is practice. Practice sharing about the business before you actually do it. Practice first on stuffed animals. Highly recommend that. Then you can upgrade to maybe like a dog, family pet, somebody that loves you unconditionally. Maybe your kids next. Then like an aunt, a lovable cousin that, is just quirky enough that would agree to do this for you. Then maybe like your best friend, your spouse, somewhere around in there. Like, by the time you actually present the business to a prospect, like, you should have done it probably 5 or 6 times, like as a practice round. And now don't take 6 months to do that. Like, do that like over a 2-week period of I'm practicing stuffed animals, dog, human, go and upgrade like that within a 2-week period. But I will actually tell you, the first coach that I actually signed up was a friend that I was practicing on. So I was practicing on her. Like, I literally was like, will you meet me at Starbucks? Like, it was a friend that I taught with at the gym. Like, I probably should have put 2 and 2 together and thought, like, maybe she might actually want to do this. But I didn't. It was just a friend that I knew would meet me at Starbucks. And so I'm like, all right, let me practice doing this on you. So then I did. So she was like, so how do I sign up? I was like, oh, that was good. Thank you. And she's like, no, like, really, how do I actually sign up? And I was like, all right. So if you will do that, you'll have a little bit of confidence. The second thing is, don't make it a presentation. Like, if you have to get out a flow chart to present this business, you're not doing it right. You need to ask a lot of questions to see what they know. Like, that's probably like now even when I get on to talk to somebody, because the first question I ask is simply, have you ever considered doing what I do as a coach? Have you ever considered? That is like the easiest icebreaker question ever. Non-threatening. I'm not asking, do you want to listen to a business presentation? I am literally just saying, have you ever thought about it? Have you ever considered doing what I do? And, you can kind of get a gauge pretty quickly if they're like, but most of the time what I find out is when I ask that question, most people I ask that to, they have considered it. And so then I'll just say something like, well, tell me what you know about coaching. Like, I don't want to sit here and tell you a bunch of things that you already know. But I just kind of like to know what you think about coaching. So then I kind of get to hear their idea of what coaching is figure out what they know, figure out if their ideas are accurate, figure out if they have misconceptions, if they have fears, if they have objections, if they have whys. Like, I can figure all of that out just in asking questions, because what I do in regurgitating a presentation is I push my agenda. Whereas if I ask a lot of questions and listen, I can listen for problems and then speak with solutions if I have them. And so when you're recruiting and when you're presenting the business, the right coach doesn't talk most. Like, you listen a lot, and then when you speak, you make it count. And, you know, listen to what they ask you when they say, like, how long did it take you to start earning income? How long did it take you to get to Emerald? You know, tell me your story. What did your first month in business look like? You know, like, answer those things, share your story. But also, it really helps if you built that relationship with that person first, because then you can know if you have a person that's like touchy-feely and you need to go like on the emotional side of things, or if they're like hard-nosed, just give me the bullet points, tell me the facts. But listening and knowing your person is the biggest thing. But lastly, I'll tell you the biggest thing that I did is, you know how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, like her alter ego? The first year of my business, when I presented the business, I was not Michelle Myers. I was Janelle Summers. I know, I look like her, don't I? But I really did. I just literally walked in and I pretended like I'm Janelle. They think I'm awesome. And apparently it worked. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So when you were in your building years, what was your process or your weekly benchmark with presenting the business to people? Like, how many people were you shooting to talk to?
I asked the question, have you ever considered being a coach 5 to 8 times a week? And it was, I mean, and just like casually, like, and because sometimes, again, it didn't go like full presentation, but, you know, it was either a challenger, a friend at the gym, somebody that I used to work with at a gym, you know, like I just had a lot of contacts. And so I would say probably 3 of those went into like legit conversations of what it was. But I mean, I tried to ask the question 5 to 8 times.
Awesome. So I think recruiting really has like a negative connotation. I think a lot of times, and people feel like they're doing something wrong or like they feel icky about it. Like, did you ever feel like that? And how did you maybe change your mindset around that word?
I mean, I think if recruiting feels icky, I mean, and I agree, like the word recruiting sounds icky, if you do it wrong. Now, when you think about, like, if you've ever been recruited before, like if you've ever been recruited to work for a job, like they roll out the red carpet and they treat you pretty nice and they put you up in a swanky hotel and they take you to, you know, restaurants. And so, like, I think you have to change your mindset on, you know, like I'm giving somebody a hard sales pitch versus I am offering them an incredible opportunity that I wholeheartedly believe in. And so I think it comes down to belief. And then I also think it comes down to, are you talking to the right person? Because if it feels icky and forced, then you're probably talking to somebody that you haven't really established the relationship with that will feel icky, or they're just not the right person, like, and they're not that receptive to it. So I think that those would probably be the 2 things that I would tell you to fix if it feels icky.
Awesome. When you sign up a new coach, what are some of the expectations that you set right in the beginning?
So I have these videos, which are available to you guys. If y'all go to the Team Iron section of my website, Jess can make sure y'all have that link. You can watch my 10 videos that I do that are relevant for every single coach. They all need to know that information. So I immediately establish, are they a talker or are they a doer? Because if they've signed up with me and they're not willing, because you guys, I know it's say 10 videos, but they're like 5 to 7 minutes each. So you can watch all 10 of them in like 60 minutes and walk away and be done. But if they will not take the 60 minutes to watch those videos, then they won't work their business. And so I make them watch those videos before they will get a phone call with me, because I'm going to have to tell them everything that's in those videos on the phone. So they might as well be able to do it on their own and prove to me that they're a doer and not a talker. And then the last video prompts them to send me an email answering 2 questions, which is 1, based on the videos that I've watched, what am I going to commit to on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis for my business? And then number 2, if those are the things that I'm going to do, what are the goals that I have set for my first 30, 60, and 90 days in my business? And so basically, I have to make sure that the 2 line up to where if they tell me, I want to be a diamond coach in 3 months, but nowhere on their list of what they're going to do does it talk about presenting the business, then I can be like, hey, we got a problem here. You either need to present the business or you don't want to be a diamond coach. So which one is it? So I do that. And then the second thing that I always do is I try to have the hard conversations first, because I feel like people come in and they can have these expectations like, I'm signing up with you, so now we're best friends and we're going to braid each other's hair every day. And I'm like, okay, no, hang on. Let's back up and understand this is a business. And here's the deal. I need you to know right now, before you have done anything for your business, what I want you to know is working your business will not make me like you more or less. It's not attached to it. So if you never do anything with your business, I like you the same. What will annoy me is if you talk a lot, do nothing, and waste my time. That's the only thing that will annoy me. But if you never do anything with your business, it's cool. It is so okay. That does not bother me. What I don't want you to do is talk to me a lot, never do anything, and then expect me to be okay with all that. And so that way, like, if it happens, you can like kind of cite back to it to be like, okay, do you remember when I told you that I got annoyed when you waste my time? Okay. It's happening. I'm a little irritated right now. But like, I already had that awkward conversation in the very beginning, so they knew that right away. But I also feel like it takes the pressure off them, but also for the right personality, like that's a challenge. Like, did she just tell me that if I never do anything with my business? Good. And I'm like, I sure did. Go. I'm ready. So I think that if you will communicate all of those hard things in the beginning, then you'll spare yourself a lot of awkward conversations later.
That's so awesome. Okay, we're running out of time. I just want to see, do you have anything else to add, or maybe we can open up to questions?
I'll take a question if y'all got them.
Sure. Anybody? Make sure if you do to unmute yourself. That's scary. Okay.
Jess, do you have anything else you want me to touch on?
Who's that?
I just want to say, I'm Stephanie. I'm the one that says iPod Touch. Sorry, I didn't have time to get my thing all set up. My kids were talking through a little bit, and I wanted to make sure I heard something. Whenever you were talking about how you worked out all the time because you were teaching classes, I was just talking to Brittany about that the other day, and how I had kind of I couldn't sleep one night and had this thought of, all those gyms and the people, like, is it allowed to be presented to gym owners if they're like not franchise gyms, or
totally.
Are we allowed to?
Yeah, I mean, like Trina Gray, who is like a 3-time elite coach, owns like a huge gym, like a private gym in Michigan, and so you totally can.
I wasn't sure. I didn't have a chance to like look in on like the laws. I'm still like sliding in slowly, but I was like, I kind of think I've had a lot of friends that are coaches and stuff, and they are worn out, and I think this would be a great alternative to gyms that are having trouble finding people, or to still be able to offer group classes, but do it.
Now, Beachbody On Demand, they cannot stream that in a class.
They can't?
No.
Boo. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
No.
Okay, then that's my question is out on that. No, that's okay. That's okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off. We're gonna run out. We have like less than a minute. So I just
you're good. Yeah, y'all go.
Thank you guys again so much for joining us, Michelle. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I hope everybody has a really great night. So I'm gonna put this on the team page for anybody that misses it. So have a good night, guys.